the men's basketball team traveled to Auburn for a tiger-on-tiger battle royale, minus the royale Saturday. Trent Johnson and company were going for their first back-to-back wins since December 19th. But the Tigers were beaten for the 18th time this season on the road at Auburn Saturday by a score of 74-59. Tasman Mitchell was plagued by foul trouble all game long and couldn't get the offensive production the Tigers needed from him. To make matters worse, he fouled out with 9 minutes left in the second half, and ladies and gentlemen, it was all downhill from there for the purple and gold. Bo Spencer finished the game with a team-high 23 points, along with Storm Warren's 14. The Tigers' next game is Thursday at Ole Miss. Well, losing aside, we now welcome in Sports Showtime's basketball analyst, Mr. Jason Template, on into the set.
Thanks for
Welcome
having
on
me
in, Mr. Template.
It's March, Hobie. It's my
March. Your
favorite time of year.
Favorite time of the year. Better than Christmas.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to just start it off. LSU really doesn't have to doesn't have a chance to get into the big dance unless they win out in the SEC tournament. Now, that being said, what are their chances of actually winning in the SEC tournament, and how's it going to look?
Well, the chances are very slim, even if they had a talented ball club. Winning a conference tournament is very, very tough, and something last year's champion, UNC, did not do. Playing 3, possibly 4 games in as many days is extremely tough on a basketball team. It's something they're not used to doing. LSU will most likely be matched up against Tennessee. Trent Johnson's squad gave Tennessee all it could handle, and for LSU, I think they would rather this matchup than a possible rematch with Florida because of Tennessee's preference to live and die by the three-pointer. I'm not saying they will win, but crazy things do happen in March. We saw last year Mississippi State make a run, Georgia 2 years ago in the SEC tournament, so it can happen.
It's called March Madness for a reason, folks. All right, so looking at the SEC tournament, you mentioned Tennessee, you mentioned Kentucky. What are some of the other teams that are looking to get on in and looking to boost from this SEC tournament?
For Florida, Ole Miss, and Ole Miss and Mississippi State, they all need wins to get off the bubble. These are not tournament teams yet, but they possibly can get in. All these teams might need at least one win in the tournament to feel safe on Selection Sunday. Florida could be limping in with a 3-game losing streak as they finish up with Vandy and Tennessee after losing to Georgia. Mississippi State finishes up with games at Auburn and then home against Tennessee. If they win those 2 ball games, that gives them the West title and most likely a secure spot in the field. Ole Miss needs a little help. They need to win out and get at least 1 win in the SEC tournament. As for Kentucky, Vandy, and Tennessee, they're just playing for seeds, with Kentucky playing for a possible #1 seed.
All right, so we talked about the SEC. We got all that under the table. We kind of know the 3 that are going to show up to get into the big dance. Now, looking at the big picture itself, who's a team that you can see kind of turning a few heads in the NCAA tournament, and who's a team that no one should put on their bracket?
Well, it's a team I talk about all the time. I picked them to win it last year. They let me down when it came to it. They got to the national title game, and that's Michigan State, and you have to be stupid to pick against them. Tom Izzo has a different clipboard than most coaches in America. He's just the best tournament coach we have in the game today and the best tournament coach we've had in a while. The team was preseason #1, but an injury to Kalen Lucas derailed them in February when they were getting hot, but he's back, and so are the Spartans. This is their best team, in my opinion, since the Flintstones team with Mateen Cleaves, Morris Peterson, and Jason Richardson that won the national title. And Izzo says Lucas is just like Cleaves. That's pretty high company. And they have a guy named the Dancing Bear on their team. Be smart, pick the Spartans. On the other side, Barack Obama's recession plan couldn't save DC-based Georgetown. This team is not very talented. Their win against Duke seemed so long ago. They're just a weak basketball team and lack the athleticism to win in the tournament. They seem to have no one who create their own shot, and Greg Monroe, Hobie, he's wasting his talent out there, in my opinion. John Thompson's father, John Thompson II, was a choke when it came down to the tournament. His son's the same way. They're not a good team to me, and it disappoints me to say.
Yeah. Now, one team I'm going to throw in to look at, Duke, the team that Georgetown beat. That's one team to watch for in the tournament. In Michigan State, 10 years ago.
Right, they did.
You know what happened, so it's 10 years ago. This could be a once every decade
the Flintstones,
occurrence.
baby.